2022. Let's talk about 2022. Every year everyone has resolutions. Every year it's a repeating cycle. Every year we have people having their New Year's resolutions and all of that good stuff. However, though, how many people's New Year's resolution actually pass? The people actually work on it for until February. Most people who have resolutions, by the middle of January, they forget all about it. Simply because I believe a lot of people are going into New Year's resolutions and all of that with the wrong intentions. Some people just say it's a New Year resolution just because it sounds good. What we should be doing instead is actually having a plan. You have your plans for the year, and even your yearly plan should be part of a more long term, let's say, part of a 5 year or a 10 year plan. So your plan for 2022 should be a part of a more long term plan for the next 10 years of your life. They have a saying that where you are now is based on the decisions and the plans that you have made 3 to 5 years ago. And with that being said, what it means is whenever you're making plans, make it more long term. Not only that, when you're making your plans, you should also, it's not just throwing it out there. You should have active means of making your plans come to fruition. As I mentioned earlier, many people just throw out a plan out there. For example, I want to be rich. That kind of mindset basically is saying that you want riches to fall from the sky. You have not spoken about how you are going to get rich. You haven't decided what a rich means to you. You haven't put a money value on rich, let's say, because rich to everybody can mean something totally different. Rich to a person can mean I have $200,000. Well, I'll have $10 million in savings. Or rich to someone else can mean I can pay all my bills, I can take care of my household, and I can have leisure time. Rich to someone else may mean I don't have to work anymore. I have investments that are paying me on a monthly basis. And I can buy a car if I need, I can buy a house if I need, and I can take care of my family. So rich is a very subjective term, first and foremost. When we're making plans, and we're not speaking about resolutions here, when we're making plans, what we should be doing is, let's say, I want to have $1 million in my savings account by the end of December 2022. That is a plan because it is specific. Planning should be specific. You know exactly what you want, and there's a time frame by which you intend to get it. What that means is when the end of December 2022 comes, if you have not got $1 million in your savings account, you would not have achieved your plan. You would have not achieved your goal. Now, if you haven't achieved your goal, let's say instead of having $1 million in your savings account, you instead have $700,000 in your savings account. What that means is you have an idea of where your plan went south. And for the next year, you can incorporate, if you still have an interest in making that money over the specified year, the year 2023, you have something to work with. You have physical numbers and timing to work with. So let's work with a plan that says I want to have $1 million in my savings account by the end of 2022. All right, fine. No plan works without you having the interest to put the work in to ensure that it gets done. You have to be willing to put the work in, right? So let's go back. You want $1 million in your savings account. How much money do you work per month? And how much can you save out of that? And how much will you put into your savings account without it having being detrimental to the rest of the lifestyle that you're living? If you want $1 million in your savings account, it's quite simple. 1 million and you divide it by 12, and that's the amount you need to put in per month. Can you finance that? So if you can put $83,000 in your savings account every month, at the end of 2022, you will have $1 million in your savings account. Now, can you put $83,000 into your savings account every month? If the answer is yes, without negatively affecting your quality of life presently, if the answer is yes, then you can achieve that goal. If the answer is no, then obviously that goal that you have set for yourself is unrealistic. And this is another thing we have to think about. Is your goal, is your plan realistic? Because everyone has some exorbitant plan. I want to travel to Paris. I want to be able to live without having to work at the end of the year. The steps needed, a plan or a goal, is basically like someone saying, I want to move from Montego Bay and I want to travel from Montego Bay and I want to go to, let's say, Spanish Town. Now, if you're leaving from Montego Bay and you need to go to Spanish Town, you can take the North Coast Highway, or you can travel south, going through Santa Cruz, going through Mandeville, and onto Mapen, then onto Spanish Town, Mapen, Old Harbor, Spanish Town. Or you can take the highway where you go you go Trelawney, you go through Ocherius, and you move on from there. So you know the steps that you need to take along your journey from point A to point B. This is how you should consider your planning or your resolution for the new year. Because many people just say something because it sounds nice. When it comes to having a New Year's resolution, having a plan for the year, the work, you have to be willing to put the work in. You have to know what your plan entails. You have to know what you're going to have to do to achieve it. You have to know the steps that you will have to take to achieve your goal. And if you have that figured out, you're partially on the way. You're partially on the way to the knowledge of where you're going. They have a saying, if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where you're going. Now, yes, if you're leaving from Montego Bay and you don't know if you're leaving from Montego Bay, you're going to have a challenge reaching to St. Catherine. You're going to have a challenge. So it's about knowing, and especially for males, because my platform, I want to use my platform to empower males. We, in many cases, especially young males, are seen as a scourge on society. We want to bring those boys back into the fold. We want man to start strong, man to start the man again. We have a lot of men who have turned into other things other than what the typical male should be. But there is always hope. All right. There are some people, there are some men, there are some young boys out there, some young men out there who just need a little bit of guidance, They just need somebody to talk to them. Right? A lot of them have been exposed to wrong ideas. We're living in a world where fast is good and good is fast. We want to reverse that. We want to bring it back to a time when people were willing to work hard for their own. People were willing to set aside instant gratification, where people are willing to do the work. You don't just say something out in the air without an understanding of what can happen, what your words can do, and what your impressions can cause. We live in an age of social media where everything, just about everything, is about social media. Let's get it like this. Good. And we basically live in a virtual reality. In many ways, we're living in a virtual reality where things, right, we need to get ourselves back together. I'm not preaching Christianity, I'm not preaching religion, I'm preaching basic decency and basic understanding of right and wrong. All right. So when we speak about planning for goals, and this it envelops so many other aspects of your life. So many other aspects of your life is enveloped by how well you're able to plan. I understand, when you're young and you're 15, 16-year old, when you hear about 5 or 10 years, it seems like an eternity. It can seem like an eternity. But the more you grow and the more you advance in age, you realize that 5 years is nothing. 10 years is nothing. There's a lot you can achieve in 10 years, there's a lot you can achieve in 5 years, but you have to put the work in. You have to be willing to put the work in, because if you're not willing to put the work in, you will not get the benefits. Put the work in so you get the desired outcome. That's basically it. Put the work in to get the desired outcome. And this is not to say that everything you work hard at or everything you put all your effort into is a guarantee. But nothing in life is guaranteed. The only thing is guaranteed is that if you don't try, you're not going to make it. That's the only guarantee. If you do not try, you will not achieve the goal that you have set for yourself. Point blank, period. Nothing else can to be said about that one. All right. So everybody has a passion. Everyone has a passion. But your passion is useless if you do not put the necessary action. If you do not put the necessary action to have your passion become of value to you. You can have all the passion in the world for something. If you do not get up and take action on your passion will become like a distraction. If you do not take action on your passion can become a distraction, can actually hold you back. You love music every day, you really, really love music, and you feel like you have this. Take action on it. Take some action. Think about writing some music, because the music we're listening to in Jamaica right now is so one-dimensional. If you listen to one song, you'll basically if you have listened to one dancehall songs especially, you have listened to them all in the new genre of dancehall that is permeating in our society right now. The new genre of dancehall, if you listen to one song, you listen to all of them. Simply because many artists are just copy and pasting something that has been successful. Someone has a style, it came up, it started to get its 9 days of fame. everybody just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, and it continues, and everything starts to sound alike. Everybody starts to sound alike. When someone else comes up again and there is some form of positivity, or it starts to make waves, then it is a repeat, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. So I mean, take action on your passion. Young man, let me talk to you. Young man, you're not a failure until you have decided to give up. You are not a failure until you have decided to give up. Don't give up. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Mr. Nemard. Checking it out. I just want to get more and more of my content out there. This today was just basically me talking some of the stuff that's on my mind. I'm just talking my mind. If you find value in what I've said, you can go ahead and check out my YouTube page. You can go ahead also and, well, I am live both on Facebook and Instagram right now. So follow if you like, and yeah, this is some place that you can come and get something uplifting. We try to engage in conversations that can actually help, especially young men, but also young ladies and people who may want to just have someone to talk to, just may need some form of guidance. We try to create that facility, to create that environment. Thank you so much for checking me out today. That is 20 minutes. Thank you. Adios.